Okay, y'all, thanks for being here. Welcome, welcome. I'm Dr. Segovia. I'm gonna do quick intros just in case we haven't met each other or you guys haven't met each other. I am the outgoing director of Centro Hispano, but now I'm working with pre-college programs, and this is the first round of our connections to La Conexión, which is our Hispanic Faculty and Staff Association here. We're about 45 Hispanic Latino staff at this college of the last rate that I got. So there's a few of us, and we are kind of taking turns to be out here for you and share our knowledge. And so hopefully you will continue to learn a little bit more about the collective. So for people, a lot of service fields, and I think that's very natural. For our community, we tend to lean to be a service, human services areas for many, many reasons, but I definitely fell into that. It found me really living my life. I'm in my 26th year of working with public ed in North Carolina. So a lot of what I'm gonna be sharing with you is a couple into different streams, just my experience supporting and mentoring students, but I'm also a mom of a recent grad and a soon-to-be grad, studies a junior, and Isa already got 1 year under her belt in the life after college. So both hats, I'll be wearing both hats as I go through this with you a little bit. So hopefully everybody on screen can hear me. Welcome, welcome. Good to have you on board today. So I'm not very good at tech, but I'm gonna try my best going through the little steps. So I wanted to begin our, hey Michael, come on in. Wanted to just begin our session thinking about this quote. Not all those who wander are lost. Have you seen this before? Have you run into this? Do you know who wrote it? Do you know who Tolkien is? He's the author, English writer of The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so anyways, he wrote that, but I definitely look at life in this aspect that life is a journey. You never know. We may have plan A and thinking that we're gonna get from here to there without any kind of distraction, without any kind of detour, without any kind of new seed or new idea, but life really is a journey. And what I hope that we can get out of today's session is just how can you complement that journey and welcome that mindset that where there's a seed, there might be a reason why the seed was planted. Where there's a connection, there might be a reason why that connection was planted or that opportunity kind of landed at your table, and see if you can explore that and see if that actually earns you some kind of asset, some kind of contact, some kind of network that will eventually lead you to where you're chapter 1 maybe, because there's many chapters in our lives. But with that mindset that it is all about exploring, and I hope that you will continue to do that. I'm going to be focusing on 4 different sections of what this journey might entail. The network, which is not just the people that you know, but people that you don't know about that may be connected to you without your knowledge, okay? Not just in real life, but socially, a social network, social media, etc. And then obviously real people, okay, including your alumni network. All of us are part of the Seahawk family, which is thousands and thousands strong. And that is, we stay true to once a Seahawk, always a Seahawk. So consider that. And then your experience, not just the experience that you hope to get in your jobs and everything, but actually the experiences that you're having now. As a college student, as a student leader, as an employee of whatever jobs you may or may not have. Sometimes it's volunteer jobs, okay, and roles that all this is experience that you're gonna continue to have. Sometimes that experience is through resources, through workshops like this one, through books, podcasts, whatever it may be. And then look at what assets you already have at your disposal and what assets you can continue to grow, because you'll be going into adulting. And so a lot of the adulting has to do with assets that you may have and how those assets can continue to expand and multiply. Okay, but definitely consider that. And then the last one, determination. My last slide is my favorite one. It has just a beautiful wrap up of what I envision as success. Okay, so to begin with, let's see if we can, let's get Vanessa in the room. Hey Vanessa, welcome, welcome. All right. Oh, I'm talking the wrong keyboard. All right, So beginning with our network, I thought that we would begin by just chatting a little bit about what is the word I want to use? The visual, the perceptions of you, your public facing, cover page, whatever that might be. So I thought that we could look into this as two things. Taking action into decluttering things that you think might not be working for you as you begin to wear your professional hat. Okay, and then adding to see what pieces are missing out of your profiles. This could be your social media profiles, including LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a social media profile. It is a professional social media profile, but nevertheless, it is a social media profile. I would be naive if I told you that employers don't Google you, whether that is recommended or not. You would always be at the mercy of whoever knows that you may be applying, whether it's a search committee or a friend of a friend who heard that you're applying to this position. You at any given time, anything that you post on social media is for public consumption. So it is up to you to be responsible in what is out there and what is not. And it is never too early to begin just walking in the habits of putting out there only what you want people to see. Okay, I've had alums who, will call and say, oh, I need a letter of recommendation, whatever it might be, and say, oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm not on Insta anymore, but that was like 10 years ago. But then, okay, you left it 10 years ago, but your profile is still open. People can still see what you put there 10 years ago when there was a different version of you. So let's make sure that we clean up. So I thought that the best thing that you could do was actually to Google yourself. Okay, any of you should be doing that at any time, but decluttering your social media for things that might not guide you in a direction that you want to eventually walk into as a professional, but then also seeing what gaps there may be. The gaps that I've seen, particularly with LinkedIn, the images, you want to be have just a presentable, in my opinion, just presentable, minimalist, just neutral kind of image. What you don't want is for your image or for whatever's out there to be filtered through people's biases. Okay, unfortunately, we do live in a world where the image sometimes is that first impression, and from that gateway, you may either make it or not make it or be filtered out. So whatever you can do to keep yourself neutral, to keep yourself not running into anything that might be a bias on your end. Okay, and I put dime con quién andas. Have you ever heard that we are just our habits and how we carry ourselves tend to be the collection of the 5 people that we spend the most time with? Okay, so with that awareness, just keep that in mind. And what I'm asking is for you to be conscientious of whether the 5 people or that cluster group is actually influencing you in a positive way, in a negative way, or if you are aware that they may be one or the other, what are you doing to diminish the influence if you see that maybe negative influences, or what are you doing to increase the positive influences if you see that those 5 connections are a positive influence? Now, we also are a human species, right? We are and we thrive on being a congregation, an aggregate. So this is not to say that you need to be breaking relationships or anything like that, but you need to be aware of what protective mechanisms you have if there are certain influences that are pulling you away from your goal or goals, when if there are relationships that you do value, but you also see that they may not be quite the bubble that you need to guide you in that direction. So that's where you come in and say, okay, well, I value this relationship, actually is more taxing to me than helpful to me, but I don't want to detach myself. So what can I do then to emphasize the other bubble, the positive bubble, while I work on figuring this out right here? Okay, and then dime con quién andas. We know that this, have you guys heard it before, first of all? Yeah, who did we hear that from?
My mom.
Of course, of course. Yeah, and so I'll put my mama hat on, I think I may have mentioned this to my daughters maybe once, because I realized that the more I said it, the more they would lean towards being with the people that I'm like, hello, they might not be a good connection to you. So eventually you do reach an age where you are the driver of your decisions. And the parent, yeah, their little vocecitas are like right here kind of chatting at you, but ultimately you are the one that has to make the decision. And the decision, I hope, and everybody that wishes the best for you, we hope that it is for your alignment to your values, to the eventual life that you're creating, to your definition of what your future looks like, and then we all are the drivers of that. But yes, with BOA, this is your personal board of advisors. You've heard of board of directors, you've heard of community board members, etc. But it is recommended that you begin to think about who your personal board of advisors are. This is a concept that I didn't learn until I was well into my late 30s, actually. To be thinking of who are the top 5 people that you can lean on and want the absolute best for you. Okay, and the perfect combination is what you see here. A mentor that you can lean on. Okay, the person that even if you disconnect with them for a year or 2, you know that you can count on. Okay, who is that person? So you could be taking your own notes in your little phone or your laptop or whatever. Be thinking about who those people are. An advocate. Okay, who's going to be championing for you? Who's going to be saying, yes, I will sign my name next to Mel anytime. I am 100% behind her. I've seen her work. I will be championing for her. Who's your cheerleader? Okay, who's going to be, you got it, Mel. They're going to be like super enthusiastic about driving you, especially when you are a little bit low energy or unsure of yourself. You're coming up to a challenge that might be the biggest challenge in your life so far. Who's going to be there cheering you on? Okay. And then depending on what chapter in your journey you're in, an expert in the field that you would be in at the time. Okay. If you are beginning with psychology, then maybe you are reaching out to somebody in your field who is already in the practice and can guide you from that angle. That expert is going to change as your career or as your journey changes. Okay, your cheerleader may change also depending on whether this is a close friend, whether it's a colleague, because colleagues also change as you do the journey. So all of these 5 people are going to be changing. And the friend, this friend, I hesitated to put the word friend. This friend is the one that doesn't mind telling you how it is. If you need to have a heart-to-heart and like a straight talk, even if you don't want to hear it, you need somebody to tell you just a straight up heart-to-heart conversation to say, look, I've been supporting you. I've been telling you when you've tried A, B, and C, that route is not working. Let's shift gears. Let's do a turnaround and just you have to have a friend, a true friend is always going to tell you how it is, right? Whether you want to hear it or not. So you need to have that tough love kind of friend in this board of advisors. So be thinking about who your board of advisors are. For my seniors, have you already started thinking about who your letters of recommendation are going to be or your reference notes are going to be coming from? Yeah. Okay. How many do you have?
In mine, I have about 3.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And are they all coming from your field right now or from work or?
Yeah, sort of professors,
Okay.
internships.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so 3 is the magic number. You may not use all 3 of them, but usually 3, you want to have a good solid 3 people that can sign their name next to yours, solid, and say highly recommend, no reservations, pushing this person forward, who can speak to the development that you've had. Maybe have even seen you through some challenging times and have seen the lessons learned out of that, the growth out of that, the development out of that. And it doesn't necessarily have to be somebody who has been your professor in your field. It could have been a professor in a class that you thrived in, that you had a challenge in, that there was some kind of glow came out of that. Okay, whether it was lesson learned, thriving, a challenging situation that you surpassed, all of that, but somebody that can actually speak for your development, because at any point we are all developing, and so they want to be able to speak to that. Okay, there are certain professors in this university whose letters of recommendation are worth more than its price in gold. I mean, they're worth amazing jobs, they're worth amazing just acceptances into very, very selective programs, scholarships, all kinds of stuff, opportunities. So be very careful of and just mindful, put some thought into who your letters of recommendation are coming from. Some of your recommenders might be also part of this personal board of advisors. Okay, and again, that's going to shift as you shift. All right. It is never too early to begin thinking of who these recommenders are going to be. I think all of you probably have an idea of at least one or two or one. But if you are, senior year still thinking about it, or junior year thinking about it, it's always okay to reach out to somebody that you had freshman year, sophomore year, say, hey, Dr. So-and-so, Professor So-and-so, I had you in this class last semester. I would love to continue to just keep you in the loop of what I'm up to, because, I find your class inspirational and this and that. You don't have to always go to office hours or reach out, but just say, hey, just wanted to let you know I'm making progress. Thank you for the advice you gave me that semester, and here I am. I'm just gonna keep, como dice, continúe el hilo, like keep the thread going. All right, good. So any questions so far? I know that I'm going a little bit fast. No? The 30-minute contacts. This is where, Michael, you may come up and say, oh, I'm working at this, or I'll ask you during lunch. Oh, but I have a friend who actually works at a company. Oh, you do? Yeah, I do. Hey, how about I connect you with them? Just ask for 15 minutes, 30 minutes of their time and just chat away. Ask them how they got to where they're at. What do they like most about their job? Just a quick 30-minute contact with somebody you've never met before, who you have no intentions of following up with. You're just picking their brain for whatever worth they have. They could be 15 years in this, they could be 30 years in this, it could be 5 years in this, but have climbed, and they have just info that you are not gonna get to until you're gonna follow that journey. So why not just dip into that knowledge? Why not dip into that expertise for 30-minute chunks with no commitments, no compromise, other than, hey, you guys are common friends, so I can totally recommend you, connect you and say, hey, David, can you just give Michael 20 minutes of your time? Great kid, he's doing the right things about getting connected, wants to go ahead and dive into exploring this along with other two options that he's thinking about, but let's connect. Sure, why not? Anybody who's, in it for the right reasons, so it's just a kind, normal human, honestly, is gonna give you 30 minutes of your time. Okay, especially if a friend is connecting with them, or if an alumni is connecting with them. So to this day, I haven't had a door shut yet when I've connected students or mentees to my contacts. So I like my contacts, everybody's got contacts. So we're all a huge web. You just need to tap into that. And then finally, your friendships. One thing that I'm noticing with my daughters, and I definitely appreciate them doing that, is that they have kept their friendships. They have made time for the friendships. So Estrella, she travels to Wilmington to just connect with her friends. She has her potting rally, but there's some like true lifelong friendships here in Wilmington. And she's making time to keep those. Same thing with Isa. And so what I see that adding value to her in so many different ways. No matter where she's gonna land as a professional in whatever chapter she may be, she's always gonna have a pod here that she has decided to invest in. She's realized that they are aligned with her values, and so she invests in that. Okay, same thing with Isa, but it's incredibly important that you decide or be thinking about what those friendships are that you would feel a void without, okay, after you move on to your life after college, and begin intentionally now to kind of make that establishment and say, you're my brother for life, you're my people, and just start investing a little bit of time. What that looks like, I mean, you are the maker of what that looks like. It may be that you meet once a semester. It may be that as professionals you meet once a year. It may be that you just do a Zoom call quarterly, and it's like, it is whatever Saturday brunch time or whatever time fits you. But there's something about that sense of family that who your people are, and you want to make sure that they are not just you're not just tapping into them later on, if when you need them, but be thinking about not losing those friendships, because that's the connection, that's the human touch, that's the connection that we all need as we go into a very transactional world, okay, that can be our professional life. So very quickly, just wanted to show you, we talked about Googling yourself. Charles? Yeah, do you know what Charles is standing in front of?
Did it take a picture?
Yes, so this is a photo booth. Okay, that they have upstairs at the Career Center. And I believe it is available. You would know more than I do, right? Tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about it.
So it's like, I mean, Kiana also works there, just letting
Yeah.
everyone know.
But you also work in the Career Center? Oh, yeah.
If you would like to get a free headshot with a nice background, you can come in at any time, we can set it up for you. And let's say you don't have like professional clothing to take the picture with. We have the career closet where you can borrow clothes and you can take them if you do like them.
Awesome. So then, this is fairly new, right? When did it arrive?
I mean, it was there when I worked there last year.
Okay.
I think it's been there for a few years.
Okay, well, we need to put it to use. Okay, very early on, when we did an alumni just panel with Centro, the one thing that we came up really, really short on were our LinkedIn profile photos. They still look like we were second year coming out of a party or, going onto the gym. So we want to make sure that those are, again, neutral, keep it grounded so that you're not also running the risk of filtering it through people that have kind of certain biases. Okay, so check out the photo booth, and obviously Charles Osuna, he is an academic career advisor, expert in all kinds of things, but we go to him for a lot of resume polishing. And don't be afraid, he like scratches all over it. He's done it to mine, but just kind of, I don't use red pen, and I asked him to please not use red pen, put a green font on it, so he did me the favor. The second one is Blink, which, Yoandi, you've already got your Blink as well, and it's just an electronic free business card. So you guys on screen, if you can use the QR code to just look at my profile, it will invite you to open up your own profile as well. I'm gonna stop sharing just for a second so that on our end, we can actually,
I think you can just pull it.
I can just pull that up.
Yeah, you can just drag it down.
Oh, how do we do that? Just like this? No. Oh, shoot. Let me see. You wanna try it?
I think it's if you hold down more, then just drag it down through there.
Sorry. There's a lot of shine there. I can't see. Okay, more, and then what do we do?
You could, I don't know, I think you just pull it down, right?
So like,
IT tech.
if you can press any area on top, like in the black, and just kind of drag it down, it should work.
Oh,
Maybe in the very top, if you could, maybe not. Yeah, there you go.
oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Super. Okay, so you can just QR code that, and Blink will invite you to create your own electronic card. And I learned this from the director of Latinx. And I've been using it ever since. I know that a lot of people pay big bucks to have the electronic actual physical card in their cards, but this is just on your phone. So no matter where you're at, airport, sitting next to somebody, whomever, you can load it up, and it's super user friendly. So I highly advise that you begin having some kind of communication, some kind of way to share your contact with people. Okay, and you can make it as personal as you want. Just an email, just your LinkedIn. No need to put any information that you might not want to distribute. All right. We good to roll after this? All right. So Blink, I love Blink. Super. See if I can. All right, so for your experiences, I would say that out of all of these lines, the one that I come through more often in terms of needing a lot of improvements and especially when you're looking for jobs is operationalize the job that you already do. How many of you have jobs? Yeah. Okay, and some of us volunteer as well. Those are jobs, those are just unpaid jobs, okay? So in your line of responsibilities, actually write what is it that you're doing. If you are an office manager, or you are a manager, have some kind of responsibilities at whatever job you do. Well, you are leading teams, you are training teams, you are representing the professional staff at your office, you are doing customer service. You may be doing basic operations such as, I don't know, inventory. You may be doing even some budget items. You may be doing problem solving. You may be the first line of contact for visitors. I don't know. Give me some ideas of how you can operationalize at this point the jobs that you do or the volunteer that you do. Do you think of one line that you can just gonna throw out for operationalizing either your
Business sales representative.
Okay, so that's your title. Business sales representative is your title, but what are you doing? What are the actual action items? That's what I mean by operationalizing and the actions that you do at your job. So can you think of an action item that a business sales representative does?
Following up with leads.
Okay, following up with, is this clients?
Client leads.
Client leads, okay, yeah, so it takes a little bit of thought to be, yeah, so any other idea, any other samples of what you're doing and action items for the actual things that you're doing in your paid jobs or volunteer jobs? Yes, Andy.
Yeah, so I can say for my position in the Career Center, just from what I do as a career connector, one of the things that I say specifically in my resume is that I assist students with professional and career development.
Perfect, yeah, you assist students. Okay, and then blah, 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 and you can give the details of how you assist them. So let's be thinking about those action items that actually operationalize what you already do. We just had so many students that come in with their title, and it's almost like they copy and paste the description of the job, but I still can't quite figure out what is it that they do, or they're not highlighting and bringing, really elevating the responsibilities that they have. You know, when somebody comes in and say, oh, I work at a restaurant, I don't know, I'm like assistant manager. Yeah, but you're an assistant manager for a reason. What are you doing and what are you responsible for? Well, I train new teammates when they come in. What do you train them? I teach them, I train them on customer support, on security and on safety, whatever it may be. So definitely key in and be thinking of it. It's not very easy. Be thinking about how do you operationalize the job that you already have. Another thing to keep in mind is that if at your jobs, your title might be just very simple and flat, nothing stops you from consulting with your boss and saying, look, I'm working on a resume. I know that my job here, my title is this, but like in the field, this is kind of how they say it. And would it be okay to put this like working title in my resume? Here at the university, we have like official HR titles, and then we have working titles. Working titles is what is posted out in the business cards and in our public facing. Internally, we may have different titles, but the working title is the title that actually heads out to the public. Okay, so very different. You can also gain experiences from internships and shadows. I know a lot of us sometimes might be hesitant to do an internship because of the time-consuming piece, but a shadow is just a micro version of that. And so even some companies that don't have internship opportunities open, nothing stops you or your contacts from proposing just a shadow day, basically turning that 30-minute call or conversation into, would you be open for me to walk in for a day and just see what a day in your life is like, half a day, just so that you actually like feet on the ground in that network, in that business, or in that environment. Okay, shadows can also be a week long, 2 weeks long, and as you climb into that relationship and as you expand that relationship, an easy way to get into a shadow or an internship is to say, do you have a volunteer opportunity with your organization? So, oh, volunteer, actually, we have an event coming up, we have a fair coming up, or we have this tabling event coming up, you're welcome to come and table with us. We have this trip to see a client, you're welcome to join us when we visit this client. So not make things harder for them, but just say, I'm here, I'm a resource, and if there's an opportunity, I would love to be there, just present, being a fly on the wall, if nothing else, and helping you if I can, when you live. Okay, also your experiences may be coming from podcasts, from workshops, from, I am a huge fan of Audible, just because, you know, I drive a lot or I travel a lot, and so I can just put my AirPods and read a new book, like in a flight or in a couple of flights. So I highly recommend that you begin diving into maybe some up and coming podcasts in your field or something that interests you. It doesn't have to be in your career field. It could be on the other parallel part of your life, your hobbies or your dreams. Some of you may want to be a business owner eventually. Well, who's the up and coming podcaster on that business field or on that career field or, you know, on that research field? Okay, lately I've been on this just wave of wellness, longevity, nutrition, and all that good stuff. There's a reason for that. My grandparents got to be almost 100, and it's my personal goal to not be the maker of my own demise. So I do want to be a centenarian. So I'm doing everything that I can to, you know, be healthy, stay healthy, and all that stuff. So that's my experience with learning more about all of the above through podcasts and some books, but I just usually don't flip the pages on it. We talked a little bit about the 30-minute contacts. I went ahead and put it here again because it is that experience that you have with them that might open up a whole new wing. And then not only have you had the new contact, but also that experience leads you to do the next call a little bit better, do the next interview a little bit better. We all take lessons learned from that experience. Right? It's like, I kind of wish I had said so-and-so. I kind of wish I hadn't said that, or I should have put this on my resume and I didn't. So we always, second round, third round, always, there's always room for improvement. There's always room to do something. Okay. And then for your job search, I would just encourage you to browse. If you see a dream job out there or a job that looks exciting, what are the credentials needed for that job? It may not be just the degree. It may be that you need experience in customer service and you're like, oh, I have that. I was working at this place. It may be that you need to learn a new language, all kinds of different languages, right? Computer languages, actual languages, lingos. Okay, it could be something that is just a short credential that takes one summer, a month, 2 weeks, an online course. But that may be what's keeping you from it. And also, as you look around, don't undervalue the skills that you already have. I don't have the stats on this, but it's something like, 60% of people that apply for jobs, or the people that apply for jobs have 67% of the credentials. They have a gap of 20 to 30%, but they still get the jobs and they do them just fine because they're trained on the job. So don't undercut yourself when you see credentials and like, oof, I'm coming short of this one or this two. Okay, so just explore and see if you can connect with them and say, I have a lot to offer, but I don't have this. Is there any way that I can actually get trained on the job, or do you have any recommendations for kind of getting this credential, fast? Sometimes the company may pay you to get the credential completed. Okay. They're probably gonna have to ask you to sign a contract, say you're not gonna leave the company for a year or two while we credential you because it's an investment, right? But there's ways to go around that. Just as an example, my husband just started working from home, and his license on the software had already expired. But it literally just expired. And to get the accreditation again was, I don't know, let's say $20,000. And they're like, we'll bring you in. We'll pay for your accreditation. We just need you to make sure that you stay with us for 2 years. So, sure, 2 years? Yeah, I can do 2 years. Maybe I'll do more, but yeah, I can do 2 years for a $20 investment in me, a $20,000 credential investment. Okay, so just negotiate your way around. Do not cut yourself short. I always say, don't shut the door on yourself. Don't shut the window on yourself. If somebody else is gonna do it, let them argue about it, but don't you be the one shutting it for you, okay? All right, and then career events, fair conventions, have any of you been to any conventions, conferences, or anything like that while you've been here? Yeah, Michael, where have you been to?
I've been to Lenovo, we also went to, what was it, we went to Chapel Hill. I
Oh,
forgot.
La Colección?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that was a great
Yeah,
network.
that was really good,
Mhm. Yeah,
yeah, that's all I have. off the top of
Okay.
my head.
okay. All right, I know you went to Alpha,
Yep,
That's
was
a
in
huge
Vegas
one.
for that
Yeah.
huge convention.
a huge convention.
Yeah, and we also have the career and internships job fair here on campus too. I've been to those.
Yes, yeah, so there's all kinds of opportunities out there. Sometimes the experience is just being in that environment. It can be a little bit intimidating. Okay, and if you haven't had the practice while you're in college, then when you go out to job fairs as an actual professional, it can be even a little bit more intimidating. So let's begin to warm up just the comfort zone of being like in your place, like in your environment, walking with your resume or with your business card on your phone, like we just showed you, and practicing, talking to professionals, being your true self, but still, elevating your experience, elevating all the skills that you have already earned. And one of the skills for a lot of you is going to be your language skill. Okay, if you're bilingual, whether it's an auditory or a writing ability, if that is a skill that you have at whatever area of the 4 areas of languages, reading, writing, speaking, or listening, definitely put it out there and use that tool. All right, super, super. All right, so let me go on screen. So here, whatever your income, always live with below your means. Okay, whatever your income, always live below your means. Each one of you has your own definition of success or goals for income. Some of you value money, some of you don't, some of you, that's a definition of success, for other people is not. Okay, each one of us has our own definition of it. But no matter how much you earn, if you continue to spend beyond what you do, you're never gonna have any kind of asset. Okay, and to me, the biggest asset is just your safety net, your security, and for emergencies, if nothing else. Okay, or to just have that generational wealth if you're trying to accumulate generational wealth, meaning you want to pass it down to your family, your future families, etc. But just kind of have something comfortable. But you never, I never stop running into alums, my former students who may be in professional fields, medical, dental, law, whatever it may be, that are earning quite comfortable salaries. But I'm like, wait, how are you able to keep up with all of the expenses that you're actually having? So what is your actual net worth? 0 or below 0, because you're earning here, but you're spending here. So it doesn't matter how much you earn, if you're going to be living above your means, when you do the math, it just doesn't add up. Okay, and some of you, you know yourself very well. You know whether you fall into the spender end or the saver end. You hope that you will be somewhat balanced, I guess, and make a little bit room to be the saver. And some of you are magical savers. I know who you are. Okay, I know who you are. You're really good savers. Doesn't matter how much or how little you may earn, there's always a saving in the back hidden out there. Okay, some of us learned that from our parents. Yeah. Okay, so keep that, put it to good use, and just be mindful of that. Because some real adulting is coming your way. Okay, and it's never too early to go ahead and be thinking about how you're going to manage that. It is very common, if you have been living outside of the home, to lean back on family at points of transition. Okay, and if you find yourself doing that, definitely have the conversation. My husband and I have very, very different thought patterns when it comes to weaning our children out of our budgets. I was like, no, she needs time. We need to keep paying her rent and we need to keep paying that. It's like, no, like we need to be weaning her out of this. But give her a little bit of time. We need a little bit of transition, okay? So, but you could be the one starting that conversation. You know, and say, hey, parents, or hey, family, you know, I'm just looking ahead, I'm gonna be graduating a year from now, I'm gonna be graduating next semester, whatever it may be. Well, how do you envision that? You know, is it something that I can, if needed, do you think that I could just come back home and like, I don't know, pay you half the rent or pay you the internet? Just, you need to be beginning those negotiations. It's a lot more comfortable when you are the one driving it. And the parent also see, or the family also sees that you have that interest and you're like, okay, I'm adulting a little bit here, but I may need some help. Okay, very different than the family say, oh, they're coming back home, what do we do now? Okay, so kind of take charge, because that's what I'm saying. Take charge of having those conversations, okay? And this little line here on income generator, it never hurts to continue to think of how you can continue to just have your piggy bank, even if nothing else for emergencies, or if you're thinking of a grad school or post-grad for those applications coming up, okay? Do any of you already have a business? I asked this because we had students who already have businesses. No, okay. All right, well, it doesn't stop you, if that is your dream, if you're a business person, nothing stops you from starting something. Resale, or something small at home, or a summer business, doing whatever trade you're good at doing. Okay, with a side hustle, I know that Uber, what is the college version of Uber? Yes, right? You can do Vivo like a weekend. That is so common. And here with Wilmington, if you have a vehicle that would actually like do an Uber, we have so many concerts here on a weekend, just on a concert night. You say, okay, I'm only gonna Uber concert nights from 10 to midnight or from 10 to 1 in the morning. Wow. You know, so just be thinking, that's just creative ways of having a little extra cushion for the rainy day, or for the day that you have to begin the journey again for whatever accreditation you may need, or whatever the next step may be, things like that. So always kind of have that. And scholarships, seniors, don't be thinking that, oh, I shouldn't be applying for scholarships. Nothing stops you from literally applying and having a refund. If you earn that money, you earn that money, okay? Same thing goes for study abroad, by the way. We've had, every time that we've taken study abroad students to Oaxaca, we've had seniors with us. So they go to graduation Saturday and they're traveling with us on Sunday. So if you're still thinking of that study abroad, do not shut the door. Continue to be thinking, we can do this even if it's senior year or the last semester to graduate, okay? A note about, we talked about a little bit of emergency fund. It's always good to just be thinking about having a little bit for that. When it comes to college loans, and I know we're coming up, we've got 15 minutes, but when it comes to college loans, know that this is an asset that you get to decide how to spend, okay? Depending on what the loan is, you may just be able to get the loan and spend it on whatever your need is. In the case for my husband and I, he needed a vehicle. So he ended up using his school loan to actually get a car. Like he didn't have one. So he actually ended up using the loan and repurposing that for a need that he had. We talked a little bit about your own business or your next phase. It could be that you put this on the scale and say, okay, is this loan at the interest rate that we have worth me taking it and actually using it to build a greater asset? Okay, whether that is a new accreditation, you opening up a small business, getting a tool that you need, whether it is a computer, a vehicle, whatever tool that you need to kind of elevate your experience further. It may be a conference that you need to attend. It may be an abroad experience that you need to attend, that you know that investing this loan in it is going to add value, long-term value. Okay, I took the loan for my study abroad to South Africa. And I thought twice about it. I thought, is this even worth it? Ultimately, it was an amazing experience, and it definitely added value. Working in the field of diversity, I could note all of my exposure to the South African community, and yes, it was worth repaying the money later on. Okay. So each one of you has your own reasons for tapping into loans if you need them, but sometimes it is gonna add that much value to your experience, even if it hurts a little bit when you take out the loan. Okay, you can repay it later, but the asset would have been built already, whatever that may be. Some people have taken loans to, again, just start up their own startups, all right? Insurance. You are coming into that age where insurance will eventually change, right? Whether you'll have to come out of your parents or get your own. So just be looking at that. I know Isa at 23, she's still under my medical insurance, but I don't know, I think she will have to come out of that pretty soon. So just be thinking about those little things that for a lot of you is sooner than later. Okay, but depending on what your medical insurance might be, you want to take care of that, because the risk that we run, particularly here in the US, is that if you're uninsured, you're running a huge liability if you have like an accident or something like that, that would have like, a substantial amount of medical care billings. So you're always better off investing on something that would just, even if it's just accidental coverage, make sure that you don't have that risk. And then the 18+ legalities, I'm going through that right now, just because one of my IG feeds said, hey, you have a child over 18? Yes. Do you know that you have no authority to take care of anything for them if they're unconscious or unable to take care of themselves? God forbid. It's true. God forbid. My children, my daughters are not able to make their own medical decisions, their own legal decisions, their own adult decisions. I have no authority at this point to make it. My husband can make them for me because we have documents that say, you answer for me, I answer for you. Okay, and in the event that we cannot answer for each other, our daughters are gonna answer for us, but we don't have the flip side of that. So that's something that I have to work on like ASAP. We just talked about it over the weekend, actually, that I need to just consult with who's an attorney, and just say, hey, is it just a notarized paper that says Estrella New Segovia authorizes Isa, her sister, to take, authority over medical decisions, legal decisions, business decisions, and then vice versa. And if for whatever reason his sister can't do it, the parents can do it, but that's something for you to be thinking about. We just assume, oh, we've always had our family, parents, whomever has been making decisions for you growing up. But now that all of us are over 18, now that we're over 18, there's absolutely no legal realm for them to make the decision for you if it is not in writing. Okay, they have access to your school records maybe, and to your HIPAA forms here if you give them access, but not to make the decisions for you. So let's be thinking about it. Okay, super. Any questions on this end? I know it's a lot. Okay, so the last one is my favorite. Yeah. So success is achieved by ordinary people with extraordinary determination. So I have come to realize that people, regardless of what their definition of success is, there's nothing out of the ordinary about them other than their determination to succeed. Thanks y'all for coming. Yeah. So when you see people that from your lens are successful, whatever that definition is, hey, come on in. You're like, oh, what did they do? Why are they so special? There's really nothing special about them, like intellectually or in their family background or the resources attached to them. They just want it bad enough. And whatever that goal is, they want it bad enough that they're willing to work for it. So it really is the work that it takes to get to your goal. And the slides that I just showed you earlier on the resources that are available to you, but for you to reach out and actually tap into them, that's for you to tap into. That's for you to pick up the call, pick up the phone. That's for you to send the email. That's for you to say, hey, can I have 30 minutes of your time? I really need to work on this. Can we draw a plan? And obviously all of us have a different version of what success is. For me, success is just having peace of mind, making sure that my family's healthy, that I'm keeping a work-life balance the best I can, and that I can, I don't know, have my weekend family trips to boom. Yeah, something like that. Okay, as long as a lot of the work that I do is for my daughters. And how does that relate to you? Is that I see them as an extension of you. I see them as your peers, your partners, your playmates, your friends. And so that's what I do. But here is a vision of success. This is our very own Dr. Santiago Patiño, our very own Santi, right here from Centro, Wall of Famer. He is a doctor of physical therapy, living the life as I believe a traveling physical therapy stationed in Alaska at this point. And this is the simple life, keeping things balanced between his profession and his love of nature and of life. So just to illustrate that, this image right here of success, this very tall, this very central, with a lot of adversities, but he plowed through them, reached out, leaned on his support system, leaned on the alumni network as well, and the team that he had here. And hasn't been easy, extremely tough, but here he is. So he came through UNCW, Western Carolina, and now he's out in the, just being a sample of what we could all achieve. Nothing extraordinary about Santi's brain, his heart, a huge heart, a beautiful, beautiful person with a huge heart and lots of love. So just wanted to share that, to kind of put a connection to that this is actually us. And there's no reason why this couldn't be you, doing whatever it is that you envision yourself. It doesn't have to be Alaska or nature. It could be some grimy, fancy place. Okay? Awesome. Y'all have any questions? And any questions online also? All right, y'all. Well, this is gonna live on the cloud, so I'm sure mine is gonna send it out, somehow post it. All right, and I'll stay around if you have any questions or any comments. But feel free to reach out. My email hasn't changed, so Segovia E, and I'll be floating around. Okay, super. Thank you.